Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the LJL OU here in week 5, otherwise known as the first day of Super Week. Because, why wouldn't we do 2 weeks of games back to back? But joining us for the first time today is new play-by-play joining us in, KacZka over here to help us out. Mas1 will still be reprising his color role, which allows me to slip into the host role. We've got a game to set up for me here, gentlemen. Specifically, we have Burning Core versus Rascal Jesters. Burning Core hot off a win, and maybe looking a little bit better, but of course they've now got even stiffer competition because the Jesters, Mas1, have been on an absolute tear, haven't they?
The Jesters are just outright maybe the team that no one expected to do well. We had predicted them around the sixth to eighth place mark. We didn't have a lot of faith in the bot lane. We thought if they were going to have success, it was going to be through this bot lane with Kanatu coming into this top lane, the LJL rookie that I was like, I think they might be the third best rookie coming out of the scouting grounds into the LJL. Absolutely not. They look to be maybe the best scouting grounds player coming in, with Recap coming out of retirement. Apparently is better than ever. Apparently going into retirement is now hyperbolic time chamber kind of thing. Papa Hatcher Mecha now coming in, really showing the dad buff now. Apparently made him 10 times scarier than ever before. And this is a team that has come together and is maybe the scariest team because we don't know how good they are even.
All right, on the other side, KacZka, new to the league, new to the cast, but you kind of caught a little bit of that Burning Core game. And what are your impressions thus far of their squad? They've moved to 3-7, a little bit far off what we kind of expected of them pre-split. Do they have a chance here?
Well, I mean, that win for me, it was a win that was very sort of slow, very methodical, in my opinion, maybe even a bit too slow.
Sure.
However, I feel like they definitely have a chance. I mean, it is Super Week. They already had one win. They're playing another game today. They are playing tomorrow, if I am not mistaken. So if there's any time where you are going to turn around, then it is right now. And what I've seen, I feel like there are definitely some stars. I think Garyaru in the mid lane impressed me on that Orianna. I mean, you're playing ranged into melee in that game, so you kind of are expecting him to win that matchup. But I still feel like, as a newcomer to the league, it's something of promise for sure.
Good to know. That makes some sense to me. Keep your eyes on Galliardo, of course. He'll be going into recap, won't he, Mas1, who has honestly been pretty damn good this split. How are you expecting that one to go?
Galliardo versus Recap, I mean, historically, it's Recap favored. Like, last time these two players met, this wasn't even close. Galliardo was very much exploited, and it's rather surprising because in 2020, Galliardo was the one shining light outside of the bot lane corporal, really for Axis in a lot. He hasn't performed anywhere near to that level that I was expecting him to perform. And honestly, I expect Recap to repeat the previous game that they played.
Okay, well, that's good news. I suppose at this point, perhaps we should talk about Rayfaki once, of course, that kind of stuff. But actually, I kind of want to draw our eyes down to that bot lane. Sol and Secret have been a bit of a revelation in some ways in this league. Of course, they are LCK veterans both. Been playing for quite some time. They've been very aggressive, for better or for worse, at points. But they are now into Yuhi and Proud. Proud had a good last game. Hell, I would even go so far as to say a great last game. Some really strong allies to play. But this is kind of another level of competition again, KacZka. And Yuhi, I don't know whether you've been following the stats, but has very weak stats. And what do you... Can Burning Core hold on down there, I guess is my question.
I mean, if I'm going by all the information I have, then it is definitely going to be difficult. As you mentioned, Proud had a really good Alistar game right now, but even Alistar is a champion where if you don't have an AD carry that can hold their own in the bot lane, you're going to struggle to make plays. Like, you have to be enabled to go across the map and, actually have an impact. And if that's not going to be the case, then I can see Burning Core have quite a lot of problems in the bot lane. So it's definitely going to be a lane to watch in that AD carry to see, can they stand up.
See how it goes. So interesting stuff. I suppose for Mas1, I'll kind of flip this question and then ask to push a little further. Jesters 7 and very far up, 6-3, I believe, at the moment as it stands. And they've now got this opportunity to really push up the standings, challenge for where DFM is. What do you need to see from them in this game, and how are they going to do it?
Yeah, currently sitting at 5-3. This one would make the 6-3.
All right, I see.
If they were able to win this is kind of par for the course, really, for Rascal Jester. They're coming into this match, and we expect them to win. There shouldn't be any other questions really around this. Whereas on the other side for Detonation, for Burning Core, they have everything to gain. Winning here would put them in the same kind of spot that we know already that Crest Gaming Act are in. Like, that is a place where they get to suddenly leapfrog above, they get to be above Axis, and now suddenly Burning Core throughout this whole split are now no longer in the bottom of the standings. They're actually in a position to make playoffs, and this is why Super Week becomes super exciting, because what happens at the end of one day gets completely changed by the end of the next day.
And with that little bit of framing, I'm going to leave you guys to cast this game. I'd ask for predictions, but we kind of heard where the bias was going on that one, and for good reason.
Not biased. We're not biased.
Sorry, whatever you call it. Something along those lines.
Educated.
Thank you.
Exactly.
We'll go with that. And with that, I will actually leave you to the cast.
All right, well then, it looks like we are going straight into the picks and bans. Rascal Jester's going against a Burning Core, and we can already see Gragas being removed. Raifarki did have the game literally just now on the champion, and, alongside some other.
KacZka, I'm going to take you through how initially I started this and introduces the cast. So I will give you the reins for Rascal Jester. Please, can you go from top to bottom and say each of the players' names?
All right, for Rascal Jester, we got Kinadu, Hachimecha, Recap, Soul, and Secret.
And for Burning Core, we have Raifarki, Wants, Gadiadu, Yuhi, and Proud. And talking about those bans, absolutely, Gragas already getting banned away, Rel and Graves over there. And then off this for the side of Burning Core, we see the Senna, Seraphine, and Na all getting taken away. And these are important picks because these are picks that Rascal Jester have kind of dominated on, and they've been able to play a very flexible, different kind of play style. Rascal Jester have shown that they are maybe the most adaptable team when it comes to the pick and ban phase, and they lock in the meta pick himself, Udyr, in the top, in the jungle, not in the top lane. That'd be very unique.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be, but yeah, Udyr makes sense. It's still one of those, staple jungle meta picks. You can just pick it up almost anywhere. That being said, Burning Core responding with an Azir, and maybe it might be like my lack of education of, the mid laners here, but that seems very peculiar to me.
So Galiadu,
I think you might have gotten ganked by the internet here, so I guess I'm just going to move over and narrate the further picks. KacZka is going to be locked in for the side of Burning Core, which sort of makes sense. You do want to pick your AD carry.
Has been banned out by ages. He has been using Azir a little bit as a crutch.
Okay, do we have you back? Okay, maybe not then. Well, KacZka, as I already said, you want to probably look in that AD carry quite early on. That being said,
KacZka.
Hello.
KacZka. Hello, I'm back.
Yes.
I have returned. I did get ganked from. My internet well and truly did gank me. I got baited, outsmarted, and flashed on. But hey, I'm back here, and Gadiadu does like to play his Azir because he is a control mage specialist. It'd be very confusing why he's not playing this Twisted Fate, which is open and has 100% ban rate over in the LEC. But this isn't the LEC, this is the LJL. Renekton, Orianna be picked up, obviously, for the control mage mirror match, so it's going to be a little bit of a snooze fest in the mid lane. No one's going to get an edge over one another, and we're going to be seeing the typical matchup of Udyr versus Olaf. The unstoppable man versus the bear man. Interesting indeed.
For sure, and in the first phase of the picks, you already see some disparity in where the focus lies, with Burning Core picking up that KacZka for the AD carry, so I would expect them to, ban out maybe some of the ADC picks that they don't want Soul to get his hands on, and then on the other side, Rascal Jesters really putting in the focus on the Renekton, so for them, I would expect really to double down on this top lane focus in the draft.
Yeah, absolutely, and as you can already see, you suggested the bans coming out. KacZka has already been picked for Yuhi, which is actually Soul's most played champion. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see the Ezreal, which is his second most played champion alongside that Senna, which has already been banned. So if Burning Core are going to do this, it's probably where they're going to have to go. They decide actually to ban a champion Soul hasn't played currently in the LJL, being the Tristana. it's not going to be a ban on recap, where obviously Tristana can be flexed to in this mid lane. So, surprise, surprise, maybe Soul, Secret, and the Rascal Jesters have more to hide from their scrims. That is cool information to know. It's always fun to see that kind of stuff come out.
Yeah, and Alistar actually paying respect to Proud from that last game, wanting to get rid of that very strong engage option. And to be honest, Burning Core do need some engage, so if they want to pick it up in the support, you still have picks like Nautilus. Not entirely sure how much it is played here, but could work.
It's not super high up there. A player of Alchemy normally likes to play the Nautilus more than others, but hey, we haven't been seeing that even that much. Often we see a Thresh be picked up by Proud. Thresh is Proud. Proud's Thresh or Thresh is Proud? No, both of them. Either way around, it's fine. It means the exact same. It doesn't matter. Is either the best player on the Rift, or sometimes doesn't get much of anything, but normally that's down to his team not really following up. Be interesting to say. Call me a liar. I've been saying we don't see much Nautilus. Secret's locked in Nautilus. I just whatever.
Hey, I appear and suddenly Nautilus is locked in. Who knows? Maybe that. I'm just saying there's a correlation here, not necessarily a causation. Now I'm really curious to see what is going to be the AD carry. All right, so Ezreal's going for a bit of the safer option, at least for the AD carry. Suggests to me that Rascal Jesters would want to most likely snowball around that Renekton.
Yeah, it's great. When you see someone trying to hook you, what do? You just jump away. You just jump away.
Yeah.
You just have to E away. When in doubt, E away. Ornn being locked in is a new one for the side. Rayfarki, we've been seeing typically get put on the hard carry position, as he is typically seen by us analysts over here at the LJLOU as one of the best top laners. You want to put him on a champion which can really kind of snowball the protective and really accelerate the game further and further. Sadly, though, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case in this game because he's been put on Ornn duty.
He has indeed, and what this means to me is that I'm looking to see how Rascal Justice can really punish that top lane matchup. You've got Renekton, you've got Udyr, you're playing against an Ornn. I mean, surely you've got to, be looking to somehow find leads through them, right?
Yeah, and I mean, that's just kind of try and allow Burning Core to stay in this game for a bit longer, because one of their pros that they have in this game is, hello everybody, is obviously going to be the fact that they just have scaling built in. They've got a KacZka, they've got an Ornn, they've got the Olaf, so when Olaf starts to fall off with the Ragnarok and everything, they can just be like, hey, here's some better items, try this out. They've also got Azir, so Burning Core want this game to go really long, I think. Rascal Jester don't really want this game going longer than 30-35 minutes, or it's going to start becoming Burning Core favored.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you've got, some range on the Orianna and Ezreal, but picks like Udyr, I mean, I could see maybe... Wait, hold on. Did I just mix up the teams? I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to see what this game will bring us. Hopefully, some action and... Who knows, Burning Core. Maybe they can pick up the 2-0 today. I feel like that's something that I can definitely get hyped behind, no matter how unlikely it is.
Absolutely, but obviously this is the first game for Rascal Jesters on the day of our coverage, and they've got a big game after them in facing against Rascal Jester. Well, Rascal Jester facing off against DetonatioN FocusMe, so a win here for the Rascal Jesters. Obviously, we'll be like, okay, that's good. We expected to win this one. Now's our real challenge against DetonatioN FocusMe, who have already got a win over Axis today. So it's going to be the battle of the people that can go 2-0. Rascal Jester going 0-2 here would be a very disappointing week, but it's not out of the question here. It's going to be all around how this first game against Burning Core goes, and who are you feeling a bit more favored towards now that you've seen the pick and ban phase happen? Take the nameplates off. Take anything you learned about the players and just imagine this was solo queue.
I think I like Rascal Jester still, and here is why. I mean, Ezreal super safe into the Thresh KacZka. I mean, realistically, he shouldn't really be dying. Mid lane, you've got an inert lane with Azir and Orianna. You're not really looking for much there. And the top lane is where I'm really looking at. You've got the Renekton, you've got the Udyr into an Ornn. Whereas Ornn, in theory, should also be safe. You can coordinate those dives. And that is, I feel like, purely champions-wise, where my favorites sort of lying.
So, we look at this one. We come into this match and we go, okay, Burning Core, your composition wants you to go long game. Rascal Jester wants to go short. Now these two teams, if you look at just raw averages, Rascal Jester have some of the faster games, and they're winning most of their games as well. So this draft, when you look at it on paper and you start adding a bit of context around the side, you're like, Rascal Jester, you've drafted exactly what you want to do. You want to end this game by 30 minutes. Burning Core, you also have a 30-minute average game time. You don't typically want to play longer. You're not the team that goes the longest amount. That's Crest Gaming Act, and it's a bit disparity coming out from Burning Core here.
Definitely is, but we'll have to see how they make it work, as we're going on to the Rift for game number 7 of the LJL OU today.
Yeah. Game number 7, game number 3 in the official order, and we're just going to fan out, which makes total sense. Neither of these teams have a huge level 1 over one another. Oh, no, Proud's getting saucy.
Yeah, walking in. Not sure, I don't think he placed any wards, but was looking for one if possible. Also, just taking a quick look at the runes, I don't think there's anything really out of the ordinary. Everything seems completely fine here. I mean, phase rush on Udyr, extra movement speed, you gotta see, the bear man just running at you.
Yeah, everything looks very standard here. Obviously, Conqueror on both Ezreal and Renekton is everything you expect to see. And obviously, Comet for that good poke early on the Azir for Gadiadu. It's been a while since I've seen Ornn, but last time I remember seeing Ornn in a competitive matchup, it was with a grasp. So you just have the sustain going. Proud went for the level 1. He went for the Flay. He didn't go for the hook, which is a little surprising, but I guess they were expecting, hey, if Rascal Jesters try and index onto us, we can just throw them back in their face and deny them. Blitzcrank is only a little bit favoring Burning Core in this one, but not by much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's just, the champions and, I don't know, their historical performance. Most likely at this point, as that is a really nice level 1 hook coming out from Secret will chunk down Yuhi already. You're gonna watch out for the level 2, because if Rascal Jester hit it first, which they won't, so never mind that point, Yuhi will be.
And already it's going in Rascal Jester's favor, because Blitzcrank realized that the game has started and that these teams do have placements, and that one of these teams is 5-3. And if we use results-based orientated thinking, that's all how robots use, they don't care about the human factor. Of course, Rascal Jesters immediately pull into the lead, and it's going to be unstoppable from here. Of course not. I'm not that serious, ladies and gentlemen. But we do have several parts of this map coming out. Both junglers are completing their first rotation. It looks like they're going to be fighting around this bot side as they both finish up Gromp and Golems, respectively.
Yeah, this actually could be really interesting, given how the Burning Core bot lane is already pushing it, and Yuhi is out of mana. If Burning Core do find themselves in a 3 versus 3, it might not necessarily go in their favor. That being said, the Scuttle Crab will be spawning, and once gets his position on it first, skipping the Gromp, so not actually doing the full clear, and opting into the Scuttle Crab instead.
Yeah, he didn't actually do that, whereas obviously Hachimecha has done that full clear as none of those jungle camps are up, and he's already going for the Risk Scuttle in the top side. More than happy to accept the trade, and I don't think he's actually been caught out on that vision there by Burning Core. He hasn't been pinged, so this is going to be unaware for the side of Burning Core until he ran over vision just there. Doesn't matter.
Yep, just places a ward, takes the recall, standard full clear procedure. Actually, both junglers will end up doing that. That being said, there is a ward you can see on the cracks from Rascal Jester, so if once decides to go back there, he will be spotted, and I'm going to be looking forward to see how they respond to that information once they get it.
Absolutely, and obviously we saw there just Gadiadu is recalling, buying, getting his mana back, buying a few items, and now has teleported back in. Recap, I imagine, is about to do the exact same, just in the opposite way. These mid laners just exchanging their teleports in so they can get minor item spikes, which it makes total sense. You don't want to do anything else. Bot lane are currently doing that, and so far, not a lot of pressure's been happening. We're almost 5 minutes in, and it's just kind of a lot of pleasantries have been exchanged by a lot of these players. We might bonk one another, but they're not going to do much more than anything else. And this is a big game for KacZka in this top lane because he's against arguably one of the better top laners of Rayfarki. And Rayfarki, as I said, was the 1v1 king. He was always up for fighting anybody and would typically win. And KacZka's falling incredibly low here.
Yeah, talking about the 1v1 king, Rayfarki takes a really good trade in his favor. Of course, having the Bramble Vest already. Thank you, Orin. That passive is really great. As KacZka running into the mid lane will get a little stun onto Garyaru, but not a lot more happening here.
It looks like he's just going to clear the ward, kill the vision, and once is down on this side as well. So it's going to be all about who has priority and who can just get the vision over it. At the moment, Rascal Jesters have so much more vision than Burning Core do, and they kind of just have to play around this. Sadly, you are standing on a ward, KacZka.
Yeah, Yuhi is gonna get hooked. He takes so much damage. There's a stun flash away. It's not going to be enough. First blood picked up by Secret with the ignite. Now, once and Proud, they're taking so much damage. Once has to burn the flash as well. There's the hook onto the left lane under the turret, and Soul picks up the kill. Proud cannot find a damn thing. 2-0 for Rascal Jesters.
And this whole time, Rayfarki did have a teleportation in, but the call was made that they didn't want them to come in. Garyaru had already used their teleport into earlier when I mentioned that. All around kind of resetting and playing around the mid lane. And now Recap, now KacZka, and now the members of Rascal Jester are looking at their bot lane, looking at their jungler and going, good, it has begun. Our reign will begin. 1k up in this game. Infernal Drake is alive, but he once hasn't been able to index down to it. So it looks like the side of Burning Core are going to reset and get prepared for this Rift Herald.
Right, Garyaru, really nice Emperor's Divide. He's running out of mana. Recap also low on both health and mana. Secret is covering, and so ones can't quite run at him. It was a good attempt here from Burning Core, but doesn't quite result in a kill.
No, it was worthwhile. I thought for a moment they might get it. Maybe if they were able to get it a little bit more turned around so that Garyaru, it was fully into the face or rather his own wave. Maybe there was a chance, but thankfully Recap was able, for his sake, he was able to run away, get out of that. KacZka is going to see his blue buff getting eaten, and he's going to wonder if he wants to fight this or not.
He's gonna have to count his allies and realize that it's a bit fewer than what Burning Core are bringing up. So nice steal there. Garyaru is able to pick up this blue buff, and you can see from the positioning of Yuhi and Proud they are covering any potential counter invade. So we are going to see blue buff gap develop in the next few minutes, likely.
Yeah, and that's only gonna go slightly wider as this game goes on. We haven't seen anybody finish their first main items. Obviously, beginning items are coming out, but we haven't even seen this bot lane tick over to 6. And as I say that, ping over.
Yeah, alright, I think your internet sort of cut you out here towards the end of your point. That being said, you should barrage in the bot lane from Soul. Well, chunk down Yuhi a bit. KacZka already on this dragon. You can see once is up in the top lane, so not in any position at all to try and contest this first dragon. And Recap moving down from the mid lane, as well as Burning Core not really interested in the bot temperature at all. That being said, Rayfarki is going to call the Forge God. Good flash away from KacZka. However, that is the summoner gone. Now we can see maybe this top lane being opened up to counter ganks.
This is why I love watching KacZka. This is a guy who is 17 years old. He's the youngest player in the LJL, and he is already looking to do some flashy plays. He is already going against some of the best the LJL has to offer, and he won't die. He will trade effectively. He will farm as effective as possible, and he will play around the map as best he can. And so far, he's showing up really, really well. That flash was heads up as anything else and prevented anything else from happening for him.
Yuhi doesn't have a flash. That lantern, I think it might have just doomed both of the bot laners to a dead depth charge. Finds the knock-up. There's the shockwave in KacZka. Picks up the first kill of the dive. Proud able to get one on the back. That was not supposed to happen for Rascal Jesters, but they still find a 2-for-1.
Yeah, Secret hung around far too long there. They are going to be able to get this bot turret, I imagine, for the side of the Jesters, but they are going to be trading a few plates in this mid lane, and I've already gone again. Maybe? No, I'm still here.
Yeah, you were gone for like a second. You know, I usually give you a second. Let's see if you come back.
I can normally tell because the game that we're watching it on normally freezes for me, and it started for a split second and then it came back. So I was like, oh, okay, my internet's still fine for the moment.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at the items now, Master, and I can already see there is an Essence Reaver completed for Soul. We're just 10 minutes in.
Yeah, this is a very early Essence Reaver, and this is almost giving me flashbacks. However, this was for Burning Core when they no, this was for Detonation FocusMe earlier on the day when Utapon was able to get what felt like 10 minutes Essence Reaver. I wondered if we're going to be seeing the 15-minute Dustblade coming out as well. If that's the case, you know who I might be picking for this win.
Yeah, I think already Rascal Jesters have a massive advantage here. Yuhi in this bot lane can't really stand on his own. You can see he's zoned away from his tier 1, and that turret itself is not looking very healthy. If only KacZka comes down in the bot lane, this could be a dive, and right, Yuhi is gonna be playing it safe.
Look at this, he's getting zoned off. Soul and Secret are just like, yeah, it doesn't matter, we can just push him off the wave. He'll miss one or two waves of experience, and look at this, he's just letting it completely die out, get the last hit, get the extra little bit of gold onto his head, and now that's first turret. Burning Core are just falling slowly further and further behind, and we're only 11 minutes in, and Rascal just haven't done anything huge. Yes, they've got a few kills to their name. Yes, they've got a dragon and a first turret to their name, and now they have about a 3.5k lead to their name as well, with Dragon not being far off the horizon. 2 minutes left to go for that one.
It is 2 minutes until the dragon, and really a question is being presented to myself. How do Burning Core really approach this game from now on? Because they don't really look like they have a lane that they can play through right now. I mean, bot lane, you're into an Ezreal, you're not really gonna catch him. Mid lane is really your only option, and I mean that's what they're trying to do, but is it enough?
Yeah, they're forcing to try and take this bot. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, Ragnarok being forced. Hold on, Druid Barrage is gonna go just a bit wide. Flash hook not gonna hit, and the return hook from Proud also goes wide. A lot of skill shots being missed in the middle, but you can see Rascal Jesters, they have a lot of power because they can burst once so quick.
Matcha though.
Yeah, he's running in the top lane. Rayfarky has got the flash. I don't think he will be getting out of this one though. That's Hatchamecha with a kill. 100% kill participation for the jungle of Rascal Jester.
Imagine just showing why he was such a good player, and that the problem with his previous team wasn't him. He's gonna blame it on everybody else. I doubt he's doing that. He seems like a lovely gentleman, and his content is always hot fire to watch because he does jungle pathing stuff. So he actually just goes, "Hey everyone, this is the best jungle path for this champion I've been able to work out," and like the speed run attempts on his channel. It's great content to watch occasionally. But relevant.
I think you are getting owned by your internet again, so I will just take over. Okay, welcome back.
Nope.
I think you're back now. I think you were gone for a while, then just, everything came through at once.
I think, yeah, now I'm back because the video's not jumping around so much, and I just saw once grab a lantern from Proud, but as it said, Rascal Jesters are really slowly tightening this nail that they're putting to Burning Core, because now that the Ocean Drake is alive, you can already see that Rascal Jester are playing around it, and they're like, hey, Burning Core, come into us. We're happy. We already have the vision. We're ready for you.
Yeah, and you can see Once just throws an axe, walks away. He doesn't want anything to do with the fight. Okay, the dragon is going to be disengaged. Burning Core, they are committing a 5-man. Kinadu has got the teleport, is now going to use it to the mid lane turret. I feel like we are in for a fight. Burning Core all grouping right up. The dragon's getting low. It is going to be secured by Once, but now the fight is in full swing. Rayfarky is going to dash away. The first kill of the fight is going to be found onto Secret. Call of the Forge God. It's not going to do a whole lot, but the lantern gets Rayfarky out, and it feels like Burning Core just get away with murder here.
They absolutely did. I wasn't able to see most of that fight because my internet died, but I heard your play-by-play commentary, which really did help kind of allow me to understand what's going on. And Burning Core, they got away with it, but it looks like there's going to be a re-engage.
Teleport from Ray Farkey doesn't have the ultimate, misses the knockup. However, there's a dash in from Yuhi, picks up the kill. Onto Recap HaChaMecha from this side together with Kinadu Kind. They find an answer. Ray Farkey, another lantern gets him out. Double kill picked up by Yuhi. And Ray Farkey is Proud's biggest fan today.
What is going on today? This was not how I expected this game to go. Burning Core finding multiple picks on, and they're allowing themselves to stay in this game. They're finding the options there, and Rascal Jester just not having the respect for Burning Core. They are finding and getting picked apart when Burning Core are the ones that are asking for a lot of this. This all started because of the teleport that came out from Ray Farkey here. On this Ornn, he doesn't have this, and he also misses the knockup, which is pretty poor. Yuhi is obviously, though, able to jump in with the Killer Instinct and then allows them to kill Recap really quickly here. Now, it looks really bad here. Ray Farkey does that, but Proud, as you said, his #1 fan right now is Ray Farkey being able to keep alive, and then using the Shremo Shuffle to get another kill over there. Burning Core. All right.
Yeah, Secret just whiffs the hook, didn't happen. A team fight is also going to be immediately disengaged. Kinadu losing quite a bit of health for this one. The Herald is going to be the target. I can't quite see who got it. It seems to be the side of Rascal Jester. The shockwave onto 2, and Yuhi is dead already. Ragnarok in the backline from Wansky can't find a single person to kill. And now Gariaru flashes away, takes the lantern out again. But Burning Core are on full disengage. They lose 2 members. They lose the Herald as well. And Rascal Jester, they pick themselves back up, and now they're going to look to pick up some towers as well.
Yeah, Proud is saving Burning Core, I think, about 3 or 4 kills at this point now.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Proud's lantern and just zoning and knowing where to stand so that lantern is actually useful for his team, this game could be even worse for Burning Core right now. As it said, it's not good. It's really not good, KacZka. Like, coming into this replay, this is going to be pretty brutal to see a lot of members of the side of Rascal Jester for, Burning Core full. Both of the supports miss their hooks. They go completely wide and nobody's grabbed on. But however, HaChaMecha is able to secure this Rift Herald, even if he missed it. And look at that dredge line. So important. It's on to the most important member of Yuhi, who's so much of their damage output. Because of that, HaChaMecha is able to just keep running forward. No fear from the side of anyone that's going to punish them. Once also went down on the back side of that fight, and Burning Core just had to run away with the tails between their legs with the hope that anything was able to come. Tower plating has well and truly gone down more than most games. Full 5 down in this bot side and a full 4 in the top side.
Yeah, 10 compared to 7 for Burning Core, so Rascal Jester getting a bit of a lead, but overall they are just, well, as we have previously mentioned, sort of tightening their stranglehold on this game. I mean, Secret with that really good hook, the second one. The first one, we can just pretend didn't really happen into the shockwave, and you really gotta start thinking, how do Burning Core approach those fights? Because surely they can't just keep getting lucky with the picks.
Yeah, I think their luck is already slowly falling away from them, because you just have to look at how far ahead Rascal Jesters are. They made a pretty bad few mistakes, and they're already back to their 5k lead. Like, it was like, oh no, we're losing. Oh no, we lost some team fights, and now we're winning again. And now it's back to where it was. There are no problems. There are no qualms. We're going to be able to win this game. Rascal Jester turning it up, and Cloud Drake is up in 40 seconds, and you can tell they're well and truly getting prepared. They're already clearing the vision out pretty deeply in Burning Core's side of the map.
Now teleport on Ray Farkey. Burning Core aren't really even looking to contest this objective. No point really when you are 5,000 in gold behind. And I mean, yeah, the Blitz boy, I think, has got the hard numbers.
He's got the hard data, and he's of the opinion that Burning Core should be able to take this game. And Rascal Jester already behind Gadiadu here.
Yeah, Gariaru does not have the flash. He should just die here. HaChaMecha picks up that kill 1 on 4. It's never fair, but not many things are in League of Legends.
Death, taxes, and Mark 5 Udyrs are the only things that are always true in League of Legends. It looks like Burning Core are going to trade this topside tower for this dragon. And the reason that they're doing this is they are fully aware that they can't fight any of the members of Rascal Jester. They just watch Gadiadu get, well, dove under his his turret, and none of the members of Burning Core were able to do anything to even try and assist their mid laner, who was caught out pretty deep in their bot lane. So you wouldn't expect them to be caught out there. So, but Rascal Jester are just able to keep strangling and going, yeah, we can just take this, we can take this, and what can you do, Burning Core? What are you able to do? And currently their answer has been not a lot.
Yeah, some attempted cross map is really the only thing, but when you look at the vision, there is basically no vision to be speaking of. Some defensive wards in the bot side jungle are always nice, but the next objective is gonna be this Baron, and I'm not sure if Rascal Jester can burn in that 20 minutes, but you always have to respect it when you're this far behind.
Absolutely. I mean, the one saving grace that Burning Core can look at is Yuki at the moment. This man is having a half-decent game, and he has got some farm. He's got an item and a half complete. He's not far off of being a 2-item, and upon completion, I believe he's going to probably be going for Collector as the first item completed here for the KacZka. It will give him that little bit more power and the ability to try and fight. The problem is I don't think he's going to have this item for this next fight, and this is what they really need if they want to have any hope in able to stay in this game.
100%. You can already feel those team fights. The power gap is starting to get to the point where it doesn't matter if you manage to outplay your opponent. I mean, Gariaru, I think it's a 5-man Shurima shuffle or nothing. Or at least we're getting to that point slowly but surely. You can see Rascal Jester already setting up vision control in the top lane. Standard game plan, get priority, get division with a priority, use division to get priority again.
Absolutely. Rayfaki hasn't quite pinged over either. Obviously, they need this Ornn to try and get a few items deep, so then you can actually, well, rather a few levels deep, so you can actually then start giving the ornaments over. And how familiar are you, KacZka, at the moment with the Ornn items, with the new item rework?
I don't think I
like
know
everybody
any
in the world?
names. I think at some point I should learn them. But it's sort of like Viego. So long as people don't use them or don't expect you to know it, it's fine. You can just forget it exists.
I'm pretty sure that's how most play-by-play well, just most casters get by. They're like, as long as I don't need it, it's fine. But the moment you get caught out, you're like, oh, whoa, that's a surprising amount of damage coming out from the Ezreal ult.
I mean, he is on 2.5 items. Soul 222 CS, almost over 10 a minute at this current point. So yeah, he's had one hell of a game, really.
Yeah, didn't go for the Dustblade of that second items. Decided to go for the Manamune instead, or the Manamune before going for the Dustblade, which I mean is just kind of slapping the opponents over the head with your wallet to a degree, because at this point Yuki has only just gotten the Collector. He's just been able to get that, and now this Baron is up, but it's been 2 minutes. It's been 3 minutes, meaning this dragon is on a 2-minute timer, and now Rascal Jester are probably going to be like, well, we don't have to, and if we win the teamfight pretty decisively, we can get both of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the thing. Rascal Jester at this point, the only thing they need is probably find a pick. You can see Secret already looking for it, and that is their win condition, because they are so far ahead. All they need is just this one push, and it all collapses for Burning Core.
The item that has been built by Rayfaki and then upgraded is the Rimforged Grasp. I wonder how many times that's been said on broadcast before.
Probably once, and I feel like if it's any caster, it probably would be Medic that said it. I don't know why. Just feels like the kind of person to point it out.
I feel like that's also the kind of person that would also know all of the ornaments off of the top of their head already, because they're just like grind it all out. Him or Captain Flowers?
Yes. Well, from play-by-play, would any color casters know it? I mean, the real question is, do you need to know the name as a color caster?
I guess Freak would probably know. I forgot Freak is always like the hybrid of color caster, play-by-play caster.
All right, well, Secret going in. That is not the hook that you wanted to hit. He picks up a kill. That is, I think we can write it off. I say, mistake, Rascal Jester. Just hopefully regroup and come back to your game plan in 30 seconds. Yeah, not great.
It's fine. Support will be up in time. We don't have to worry about it. The support will be up. He'll be back in time. It's okay. Secret just landing a Q. He landed a dredge line he really didn't actually want to land, and because of that, it caused some other issues for the the support player of the Rascal Jesters, but I don't think it's going to cost them anything, as he will be up in time for this dragon. And Burning Core don't want to give too much disrespect to the side of Rascal Jesters, as they could, out of absolutely nowhere, remove them with 2 to 3 members.
All right, the dragon is going to be started. Soul dashing forward. Yeah, you can see KacZka onto the side. Kinadu is having the flying position. The dragon is already secured. Let's see, Burning Core, where are you going to run? What is the path of disengage? So far, they're just all coming up in the mid lane. You can see Rascal Jester sitting for multiple angles. KacZka is going to flash into the backside. Kinadu jumping in as well. Emperor's Divide is going to keep the Renekton out as the Jujut Barrage goes to the team. The Shockwave onto both of the carries, but none of them is going to die. Yuhi finally is going to fall once in the backside against KacZka. There is the Renekton coming through. Kinadu is going to clean up the fight. Proud trying to keep him away with the flay, but it's not going to be enough. Rascal Jester, 3 kills already. Soul finds the Mystic Shot. That's the 4th kill as well, and Rascal Jester win the team fight decisively.
Ding, ding, ding. We lost the dragon, guys, but guess what we can get there? We'll get the Baron. That's not too bad of a consolation prize. 4 for 0 over to the side of the Jesters, and they can do no wrong in this game, it seems. Every moment they were able to get away with their KacZka, when it looked like you were below 50 HP at one point, maybe -1, it feels like how low. But the important members to watch in this team fight is, oh, Secret, that's an awkward flash to miss, is watch Kinatu here. Comes right in, and because of that, he forces the Shurima shuffle out of Galio. Now that amazing shockwave come through, and now look at KacZka. He's right behind. He went the long way round to get onto Yuhi, to get onto this backline. Once it's like, hey, I can probably kill this guy. No, Kinatu was right there on top of him, saved it by the alligator. And what was so well played is Rascal Jester were able to juggle the different kind of aggro that they wanted to pressure. They were able to go, Kinatu, we want you to go in the back, we want you to be our front man, run in and pressure them so they have to blow everything. Because of that, KacZka was able to come around the back, and guess what? This whole time, Soul was able to just farm them. He didn't have to get too deep. He was able to throw out Qs, as with recap, and wow, Rascal Jester is so good. Look at that damage that Soul was able to do, just not being touched that whole fight.
Yeah, I believe that was also before he completed his mythic, because I caught a glimpse of it, Duskblade now being completed. Rascal Jester played this team fight immaculately. As I said, they had Burning Core exactly where they needed them. And now when they are even further ahead, it really is starting to look like a done game.
Yeah, sadly, Proud has been able to get a bunch of lanterns, but hasn't been able to hook any of the really important members. Gadiadu hasn't been able to do much with his streamer shuffles. Once fell very far behind in this early game and hasn't been able to catch back up with KacZka. And Rayfaki, well, you're scaling and you're starting to give ornaments over, but it's a little bit late if the rest of your team and the base is getting knocked on at 27 minutes in.
For sure. Rayfaki getting some nice damage onto Kinatu, and yeah, the ornaments, they're always nice, but they either have to matter early or they're only going to make a difference at, what, 40 minutes? And this doesn't look like a 40-minute game. That being said, Call of the Forge God finds that lock up onto 2. And the Rascal Jester are in a bit of a too-safe position for Burning Core to follow through.
Damage that Soul outputs at the moment is almost half of Rayfaki's health bar.
Goodness, look at Garyaru! I can't even see him now as Soul deletes him off the map. And man, that is one hell of an Ezreal performance.
This is what happens when you allow Ezreal through the pick and ban phase and he gets 3 items. I think I know the meta which the LJL might be following for the next few weeks, and then definitely for the rest of Super Week if this Ezreal performances keep up. My god, that is phenomenal.
2 inhibitors off the top of that one play. Garyaru is still not even up, and Rascal Jester are just going to take the recall. You've got the Baron running out, and they have now put themselves in a position where they only need one more play to finish this game for good.
You could even argue at this point they don't even need one more play. They might be able to just brute force their way through this game. They're over 11k at this ahead now at this point. And watch what Soul does here. The Q, miss. He's able to land 1. That's the Essence Flood. That's a Q. Jump over. Oh
that's
my.
That's a QE auto attack.
I think I'm allowed to say what KacZka says now. That's illegal. That's actually illegal for just, you're not meant to do that much damage when you're only 1 level above the enemy mid laner. That was absurd.
it was indeed. Once it's gonna take the lantern out to safety. Rayfarki in the
Oh,
ball taking
Rayfarki.
a bit too much damage. He's going to get stunned. There's a shockwave, and Recap picks up the kill. Proud is going to be next on the chopping block, with Soul getting that one. And now the Ezreal should be absolutely unleashed. The Chushot Brush is going to go wide. Having that is the double kill. Picked up by Soul as once is sent back to the fountain. Soul jumps forward, picks up the triple, and they should be the game. Rascal Jester controlled from start to finish. One small exception, that's maybe it. There is the hook on the Gary Arrow. There is the ace. Now 30 minutes. Rascal Jester will be looking to take the win over Burning Core.
That was decisively done. You said they're going to need to do something around the next objective. Actually, no, they had no need to do so. Rascal Jester just brute forced their way through the bot lane and then were able to secure the win. And I think, KacZka, the easiest way for me to say this is welcome to the LJL. What a first game for you to come in on.
Absolutely. I mean, I just got to see a masterclass of Ezreal performance. I got to see some picks that should not have happened for Burning Core as well. So it's not like it was a stomp. I mean, we can point to that one moment and be like, this is where Burning Core really made their mark. And I feel like that made the game entertaining. At the end, Rascal Jester coming in, showing that they are the better team.
Absolutely, but as is tradition, we're going to go on a short break here, but after we come back, we'll be with the analyst desk, back with Initialize, and he's going to make us focus on the important points to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back after that dominating win, frankly, from Rascal Jesters over Burning Core. Let's get straight into it, guys. early on into that game, the Jesters came out with a massive advantage, basically by playing through and around bot lane. KacZka, take me through that gank and dive from early on in that game that really put the Jesters in control.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Hachimecho was just able to exert his control over the bot side, and that is what counts. When you're playing a champion like Udyr, or really Olaf, that was the case with both of the junglers, your power counts from being able to make an impact. And so the dive was set up in the bot lane. There was a first gank, if I remember correctly, and then a follow-through when the summoners were burnt already. Both of them set up almost perfectly, ends up being 4-1 in favor of Rascal Jesters, and put Soul in a really, really advantageous position.
Yeah, that bot lane kind of got crushed. Things were looking pretty good. They go top, they get the kill there. It's all looking great, Maswam. Until we hit this kind of 14 to 15 minute mark. Dragons coming up. And just look for a couple fights, and it kind of goes wrong, and it looks like Burning Core maybe had a way back into it. Well, what was going on there?
This was a spot in the game where the Jesters just kept on getting caught out, and arguably they were a bit too far up. They didn't have the vision, and this was just 1 or 2 picks that really came through, specifically Yuhi getting those kills as well. It was like, okay, maybe this is an opportunity for Burning Core. Maybe they can find something. But it didn't last very long as another fight broke out around the Rift Herald, and before you knew it, it was all back in the Rascal Jester's favor.
Yeah, and I'm aware we're going to talk quite a lot about Rascal Jesters and how good they were, and rightly so. But I do think it's probably right to point out that Proud on that Thresh did a really good job of keeping Burning Core in that game and stopping some picks, which should never have happened. Tell me about how good Proud's lanterns were, KacZka.
I mean, they were absolutely insane. There are 3 kills which you can point out that directly. It was the lantern and nothing else that saved them. 2 of them were on Rayfarki, one in that dragon fight, another one in the middle when he teleported.
Sure.
And then you can see Gariaru in that Herald fight where all went wrong. He was still able to be, gotten out of that. So you can count 3 kills at the very least. All things just to Proud's lantern. I mean, Ban was literally on fire in that part of the game.
And I feel like this has been a thing for Burning Core, where we've seen moments of brilliant and mechanical insight from a number of these Burning Core players, but come the mid game, it sometimes feels like they're not quite on the same page in the same way to make proactive plays the way they want to. And on the other hand, I think Jesters had exactly that, because then we kind of had, I think, probably the most critical fight in the game. Yes, the Jesters were a long way ahead gold-wise, Maswan, but that fight around the 4th Drake where Rascal Jesters really, really punish Burning Core. They get onto Yuhi. What happened in that fight?
Oh, so
It's the big one in the mid lane. It's the big one in the mid. It's the big one in the mid lane where the Jesters managed to get Hachimecho goes right the way around the back, gets onto Yuhi. Yeah. It's all going a bit crazy, and it gets close, but it feels like the Jesters kind of ran over that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was all a bait and switch. Obviously, the Red Jesters didn't mind for the side of Burning Core to actually get that kill, and if anything, they were actually kind of happy that they did that, because when they were coming back, as KacZka was saying on broadcast, he was like, but which way are you going to run, Burning Core? And Rascal Jester was lined up in every way. Kinati was coming out from the behind, and they were just perfectly waiting for them. They're like, if you go this way, Hachimechi goes this way. If you go this way, Kinati can go this way. If you go this way, Soul is just waiting to ult across all 5 of you with an essence flow. It was just beautifully done by the Jesters, and you could tell that they were prepared for this kind of thing, and that they had waited and planned for this moment, and then they got the Baron, and then it was kind of over.
Yeah, and I think at this point I do want to ask you to push a little further, specifically on Soul's Ezreal, because I've got a little note here from the Piltover police saying they're looking for a blonde youth with some magical artifact who's constantly threatening to put people into the museum, has instead been sending them straight to the funeral parlor, because that Ezreal was a menace to society in that game. What was going on?
I mean, it's kind of even hard to. I mean, it's easy to say what was going on. I'm just trying to think why it even happened, because Soul just seemingly out of nowhere started just one-shotting people. I mean, you could track it back, of course, the early game start, and then him being able to position almost perfectly in the teamfights all contributed to it. But once he hit that Duskblade, there was no going back. He was unleashed.
And that feels the way it is at the minute with this new Ezreal build. Essence Reaver and Duskblade, plus a couple items. So much ability haste, so much lethality, and a lot of dead members. And Salt putting on an absolute masterclass on Ezreal in the late game. Hachimecha running that early game, and the Jesters came out with a very convincing win, even if we saw one or two bright moments from the likes of Proud. That said, we are going to go on a quick break here, guys. And when we come back, we've got our final game of the day, which should be a really exciting one, KacZka. You've got Detonation FocusMe versus a rampaging Rascal Jesters. Don't go anywhere, guys. You want to be around for this one. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The LJL OU is back for one final time. And what a match we have to end it all. We have Detonation FocusMe versus Rascal Jester. Our first team versus a team that would love to be competing with V3 for second. Rascal Jester obviously came off a very convincing win over Burning Call. We talked about the frankly illegal damage that Ezreal was doing and some excellent jungle pathing from Hatch and Mecha. But I do want to turn our eyes over to Detonation FocusMe because we've gotten word that there has been some substitutions for DFM. Arya and KacZka are out, and we are going to see the old school roster of Seros and Gang in this time out. Mass Swan, do you want to do the honors of giving some context?
Right, so for those unaware, Syros is the resident mid laner, the longest player outside of Faker and his brethren in the bot lane of Utapon, where they have been playing for the longer than anybody else on this team. Now, because Syros has been taking some time on the bench, we don't quite know how that time is going to be marked as, but Utapon might have overtaken him. We don't also quite know, because obviously this year especially has been a bit weird for Faker. But let's come back to this. What are they doing? Well, KacZka, their head coach, or head coach, analyst, performance coach, coach of Detonation FocusMe for the longest time, has been dropped out, and Gang is being replaced, who, one is the head coach's brother, and two has been playing on the team for 3 years. Yeah, Coach Yang. Coach Yang is Gang's brother.
Okay. Okay. I suppose.
Yeah.
Cool. And obviously that also leaves Seros switching in for Arya, and basically this is because of residency rules. Steel will become a Japanese resident come summer. He is not in spring. That leaves them with an awkward problem because both Arya and Gang are imports, which means, well, can we play Arya or can we play Gang? And basically they have decided for the first time to switch out Arya to bring in Seros, and that also means that their preferred starting support, who they've obviously retained on, Gang does get to come in. I'll go quickly back to Mass Swan to explain what does this necessarily change potentially for DFM?
A huge dynamic. Arya offers the ability to carry, but also you can play more of a supportive element, but you can also play an agency element. You can play around the maps. Arya literally does it all. He can play anything and everything. Obviously, some of his most known champions are Twisted Fate, Silas, and what's another one I would say is very Arya as Lucian, right?
Akali?
These are champions which play vastly different from one another, so he can really do it all. Syros, though, likes to play Karma, likes to play Heimerdinger, likes to play unorthodox stuff, but he does it very well. Ziggs is a big one, right?
Yeah, he really does. And it does mean it's a bit of a shift back. This is the old school roster. It's more of a focus to actually having some lane dominance on the bot side. Gang is like arguably the best support in the league. Loads of people love him. But KacZka, Rascal Jester's coming in hot. DFM switching in some substitutes who haven't been seeing a lot of stage time. Is this an opportunity for the Jesters, perhaps?
I mean, it's always an opportunity, right? I mean, that's my approach that I sort of, also want to bring in. And I mean, maybe I'm just blessed with ignorance. Who knows? But I think...
I love that. That's great. Keep going.
I think there's definitely an opportunity. That being said, I mean, I'm aware that Detonation FocusMe are the top Japanese team. I mean, even if someone that doesn't actively follow the region, well, maybe until now, because honestly, after those games, I just might.
We've got it.
But yeah, I've heard of DFM, Utapon, especially Seros also now coming back. So I think it's still going to be in their favor. That being said, we could see a messier game.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one because, of course, Sol and Secret just crushed that last game with help from the team, and it was well set up by the Jesper. Sol and Secret had a fantastic game with the Ezreal Nautilus pairing. DFM have switched in their preferred support. This should give DFM, on paper, a little bit more to play around at that bot side, a little bit more strength down there rather than having your coach down there in the support role, which could get punished. KacZka, back to you. Is that stage time going to hurt, or does the pedigree give them enough to match the Jester's bot lane, which seems to have been on a pretty big tear recently?
I think I mean, when you have your coach playing in the support position, of course you are going to be slightly, handicapped compared to someone who
Sure.
is an actual support player. So I don't think it's going to make. Okay,
I
am
will
I
put
making
in
a
this one
mistake?
note. Oh, no, you know,
Okay.
you're absolutely right. He is a coach. He is an ex-pro though, and he is an ex-pro support.
Okay, never mind.
So it's not
Alright.
like he's got no pro experience. Figured it was important to give you that context so you knew what was going on. So
I
like
feel
he's
I feel
got
like it's very
some,
important.
he's got some knowledge there about what he's doing.
Okay, no. Then actually that does change my point I mean, not quite a bit, but a bit. I think it is going to definitely give Rascal Jester an advantage compared to normally, anyways.
Sure.
Again, I'm not entirely sure how what the power dynamic is in this bot lane, but you definitely have to watch out, and it's going to become evident within the first few minutes of the play. I think is that stage experience really required? Like, is the
Right.
support coming in comfortable with what they're doing, or what's going on basically?
So at this point, I'm gonna have to press you for an answer on who you favor in this matchup. I'm taking it as
God.
DFM right now.
I think it's gonna be DFM, honestly.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be a close game, or I hope for a close game,
Yeah, of
anyways.
course.
But I'm leaning
Fair
towards
enough.
DFM.
I think we are Shy Mass one, whose internet has once again fallen
Unlucky.
foul. But what I will suggest then is, Reed, could you pass us over to Pick and Ban, and I will hold on to the reins for Master One until he does come back and can collect them for us. But it does leave me and KacZka a moment. The double play-by-play Pick and Ban phase is clearly the most dangerous. It means Detonation FocusMe over on the blue side, but Rascal Jester over on the red, with Ebby, Steel, and for the first time this split, Zeros in the mid lane, Utapon and AD carry, and of course, Gang coming in at support.
Yeah, and Rascal Jester, you've got the same roster that we just saw: Kinadu, Hachamecha, Recap, Soul, and a Secret taking to the Rift on the red side of the map.
Indeed, and they have got some.
Initialize.
He's back!
Hey.
Initialize. I know you wanted to say Cyrus's name in the Pick and Ban phase, but get out of here. It's my time now.
Okay, I'll leave you guys to it. Glad to have you back, Master One. I'll leave you guys to it.
Thank you very much.
All right, welcome back, Master Swan, and we are in the picks and bans. Detonation FocusMe, a heavy focus towards the support with the bans Thresh and Rel both taken away.
Yeah, and that Senna also being banned out, targeting Soul as well, preventing them from doing the fasting Senna, which we have seen Rascal Jester index onto beforehand. Double jungle ban, though, for the side of Rascal Jester. They're saying no to Steel. They're saying get rid of that Olaf, get rid of the Lilia, get rid of Gragas for the top lane, and then Ebby slams down the Gnar.
Yeah, first pick already for DFM, and the response is going to be the Udyr. So Olaf and Lilia both taking away Udyr, locked so Rascal Jester really putting in the focus towards the jungle, hovering the Renekton, potentially going for the same strategy that, seemed to work reasonably enough last game, although never talk about hovers, just got debated. It's Seraphine.
And I love this Seraphine pick in, because obviously you play Seraphine in a lot of matchups that you would play Udyr in, but this doesn't actually represent which direction you're going with your composition. You're not giving any extra information over to the side of Rascal Jesters, because guess what? You can play Seraphine mid, you can play Seraphine support. You can also play AD carry, if you're the kind of person that can do that. I doubt Rascal Jesters are going to probably do that, so they're going to be looking at this. I'm not going to pretend to... Okay, so when was the last time you casted a Heimerdinger game in a serious professional setting?
Never. Yeah, I've never casted a Heimerdinger in any game that was above gold either.
Welcome to the LJL, where it's somewhat common placement. Myself, Initialize, and Nymera have mild experience doing this, as it is a Seros special. Comes back to the stage and then wants to show off his Heimer. All right, sir. Showing us. All right. We do see Gang locking in that Alistair. And are you looking forward to seeing what Heimerdinger can do in the LJL?
I am, but I'm also looking forward to what it can do with this comp, because if you have that upgraded I think it's CH3X Selection Storm Grenade is the name, combine it with the Alistar and Gnar Engage, that is a lot of tools with which you can go in.
I would absolutely agree with you on that one. We are seeing that Ezreal Seraphine locked in. That is a very pokey bot lane if it does end up both these champions going. Well, obviously, Ezreal can go into the bot lane. Mostly play bot. Unless you're Nemesis, you can play it mid. And maybe with this new build that we're seeing on, maybe that's could be a direction that we see. However, Seraphine is slightly more lightly. And this bot lane, if it is for them, is going to be very pokey. And Gang is going to have an awful time on this Alistair. As we see a Tristana be banned by Rascal Jesters. That will be targeting Utapon.
All right, and Oriana is also going to be removed by Detonation FocusMe. They do want to get rid of any of the recaps champion and KacZka taken away as well. So, yeah, as you mentioned, Gang in this bot lane, not going to have too much fun on the Alistar, but of course that really is why Alistar is a skill-expressive champion, because if you can find a place despite being at such a big disadvantage in the bot lane, then it really speaks volumes to your ability as a support player.
And he has been bigged up. If you heard Initialize earlier, ladies and gentlemen out there, Gang is maybe the best support in the LJL, and he has returned for this game. We don't know if he'll be here for all of it, but DetonatioN FocusMe currently sitting at 8-1. Would love to extend their lead to 9-1, and well and truly be above in the standings over everybody else, whereas Rascal Jester currently sitting at 6-3, going to 7-3 would actually put them in a perfect spot and would tie them for second place. So much to play for going into this game. Camille was the first champion locked in for Rascal Jester.
All right, yeah, they go for this top lane, still leaving the Seraphine flexed between mid and support. I definitely respect that. You do want to see what sort of bot lane DetonatioN FocusMe will gravitate towards. Quite a few different hovers. Xayah seems to be what they are settling on.
We wait for the final pick to be locked in with this Xayah. It's going to be the jungler for DetonatioN FocusMe, and they know most of now what Rascal Jester are planning to do. They've got the poke comp in the bot lane. They've got a jungler that gets enabled through this. They've got the Camille that helps there. It looks like DetonatioN FocusMe have decided that Nocturne is the pick, and they block it in. Like, I actually thought they were going to switch off to something different. Okay.
Yeah, that is a champion I have not seen in a very long time. But also, whenever you're playing Nocturne, it screams early, not necessarily aggression, but proactiveness. You can't just do nothing. So we should see DetonatioN FocusMe make some probably high risk, high reward plays now. As that okay, I don't know what's going on. Help me, please.
This is an actual professional game versus maybe the top 2/3 teams in the region, and we're seeing Heimerdinger mid face off against Zilean mid. Is Bjergsen facing off against Syros, or is Recap's champion pool as wide as Arya's? I guess we're about to find out, KacZka. I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was the kind of game I'd be throwing you into. I don't know what's going on, and I'm sure Initialize is freaking out at the moment. What a... Oh my, this is going to be interesting to watch.
I mean, all I'm gonna say is that if you want to get someone into watching LJL, just probably show them this game, because I'm already so like, damn, we have Heimer versus Zilean in the mid lane. And honestly, I'm just trying to make sense of what sort of comp we are going to see. From DetonatioN FocusMe, it definitely feels like go all in. I mean, Nocturne just confirms that. You have champions with really good engage and champions which actually must go in. You don't really have a choice.
Yeah. Well, Nocturne is you go in or you don't go in. An important part to actually think about for this Nocturne is when we saw Hogler of Axis play the Nocturne. What we got to learn is Nocturne in professional play, maybe you don't immediately... You press the R button, but you don't immediately go on somebody, KacZka. You hold it. You make them wait. You make them throw out what they think they're going to do, and then you go. The moment they don't think you're going to go, you go. And it worked out rather well for Axis. They were able to pick up a win with that kind of strategy. Important to see if they're able to repeat this. Obviously, though, that would be DetonatioN FocusMe. And this is a really unique composition. I'm kind of surprised that we're seeing Syros be played. I'm kind of surprised that he's playing Heimerdinger. I'm like, oh, so... I'm excited for you, honestly, mate. This is going to be a wild game.
Yeah, I don't really even know what to expect. I'm going to be genuinely honest, because then on the other side for Rascal Jesters, we've got Zilean, Seraphine, Ezreal. These guys just refuse to die. As long as you don't run headfirst into your opponent, you just shouldn't die, realistically.
Won't a member of our... To quote a member of our community when they were watching it in our spoiler chat, so when the game was actually coming out live, I'm going to be quoting Galeworth, their hero, Emma, as she's known over on Twitter. this is a super oppressive composition from Rascal Jester. They are denying so much, and you identified that, right? This is a comp that has no interest in fighting you fairly. They want to poke you for days and then go, oh no, someone got caught. Rewind time. Yeah. I would have actually really liked the Skarner at the very end there for a steal instead of the Nocturne, because if we've got multiple squishy champions, hey, it doesn't matter if you can rewind time a zillion, you're already dead if you get pulled back by that Skarner, and if you get to live again.
I think your internet is gone, but yeah, I 100% agree with what you have said. If that was okay. Okay, yeah, if that was this corner, then it would be much harder, because if you're playing Nocturne,
you die.
okay,
You die. I have.
Do we have you back? No, okay, it's still the yeah. All right then. Well, what I was going to say is that, yeah, when you play Nocturne, you are the one that is going in. Even if you're not going in straight away, you still have to bring the fight over to your opponent. And to be honest, most of the champions, I think actually all of the champions for the side of Detonation FocusMe also follow that same archetype. They are the ones that bring the fight over to their opponents. And so when you have all those champions that can provide the healing, that can provide the poke, it's just never going to be fair.
And I think I'm back, KacZka.
Welcome back then. We're over onto the rift.
No.
Yeah, no, I think I can hear you. Anyways, we are on the Summoner's Rift. You can see the runes. Again, nothing really too surprising. I mean, to be honest, I don't even know what the Heimerdinger runes are. He could be running Dark Harvest, and I would say it's probably standard at this point. But yeah, and
Spellbook coming out from recap. I mean, that seems legit for a zillion mid. I don't know what else you would actually pick. I'm completely with you. I have no idea what the correct thing is here for these two mid laners when it comes to the runes. Everybody else, you can kind of go, well, this makes sense. This makes sense. Nocturne has seen a little bit of competitive play, so it's not completely out there. No, we got the two absolute champions in the mid lane that never get picked, and I don't really know how to analyze this. All I assume is going to happen is Heimer can never really push much further than the halfway point, because Recap's going to be able to farm just as quickly as him.
for sure, as we start the game, and already Sol and Secret trying to really abuse this range advantage in the ball lane. That is something that actually will need to pay close attention, because a gank theoretically shouldn't really be able to have much agency in this ball lane.
It shouldn't be. Sol and Secret already getting that early poke on, and oh, this is not going to be the funnest return for Gang on this bot lane. His last game in the LJL was an absolute cracker of a best of 5 series against V3 Esports. They went the full 5 games, but V3 Esports were able to win over DFM, and because of that, Gang did not go to Worlds. V3 went to Worlds, and we haven't seen Gang since. This is his first game back since that finals match in Summer Split, and it's lovely to have him back, as well as obviously Syros as well.
Yeah, both of these players finally coming back over, playing on their team. And yeah, 3 minutes in, it's still a relatively calm game. The one thing to look forward to, though, is definitely going to be when Steel hits a level 6. That's probably the most important spike we should be looking.
Oh yeah, I think honestly, once all these players hit 6, there's going to be so much action around the map.
Yeah, and for now, just, well, almost full clear. Steel does miss the Grom, decides to go for that scuttle, will not really be spotted. A push in the bot lane, it's getting oppressive, but it is sort of what we are expecting. Gang not having fun at all. That is not a happy cow.
No, and that was something I did point out once it was locked in, and then the Ezreal was immediately locked in. I was like, well, now you've just begged them to play the Seraphine Ezreal bot lane. You've just kind of begged them to pick it. I wonder if maybe trying to represent the support there was just kind of obviously, oh, well, they've shown that they've picked their support. Maybe I'll show back. But then if you assume you're against a Seraphine in the bot lane, you either want something with a grab, like a land, like similar to like a Thresh or a Nautilus, you want a hook or something. We've seen Blitzcrank in the LJL from the likes of Vayner, so it's definitely on the wheelhouse. Week 4 Rhino played it back to back just to show that he can play it. I think this Alistar might be causing this bot lane a bit more problems, and it's already forced Utapon to be 10 CS down.
Has indeed, and gank trying to make moves is really the only play that you can try and make, but who are you going to gank? VCap is just zillion. He's gonna be sitting probably near his tower when he hits 6, becomes even more ungankable. So really a bit of a conundrum for DFM to try and focus.
Absolutely, and with that said, both these junglers are still farming up. Obviously, it's very important for Steel, as you already mentioned, to get that 6, and Secret's just having a goosey gander, wandering around, just making sure he's got the vision deep down there, and he's just hovering around. Important to note, Secret has been one of these most proactive, well, a very proactive support player, and it's always looking for a different angle and opportunity to come in. We've seen them do crazy surprise ganks into the top side, and maybe that's what they might be looking to do for KacZka, who's getting bullied by Ebby at the moment.
Yeah, Evie keeping that wave exactly where he wants it to be, and you just saw one really good trade onto KacZka as both junglers in the top lane. KacZka is going to run and put that control ward, then just run straight through the lane, doesn't really care.
When you see the enemy Nocturne, you're like, maybe I shouldn't fight this. I haven't got a lot of mana left. I can only stance about 3 or 4 times. I was expecting him to be doing Dragon. Well, that means I can do Dragon. So I imagine KacZka is just going to be like, well, I'll farm, you stay safe here, KacZka. Don't do anything stupid, and then we can try and fight over Dragon in a minute or so.
Potentially, bot lane has permanent priority. You can see Sol getting a lot of damage down onto Gang. Utapon not able to get the root on the feathers, but getting at least some damage in return to be dealt.
Absolutely disgusting what they're doing here at the moment, and I'm not quite sure. I'd love it if production's able to look up for us if KacZka has played this Camille once before, because I don't think we've actually seen it. I think we've normally seen him on Renekton duty. But we'll get on that as soon as possible. As it's currently going, Utapon is falling behind against Sol, and exactly as I predicted, the moment they saw Steel in the top side, they were like, well, KacZka can just reset and get back and get this dragon, and it looks like it's going to be secured because of that bot prio.
Yeah, there is a ward bot. Steel has got a level 6. He's not going to look to contest the dragon, but could be a play being made here. He's sneaking up, really playing on the edge of vision. But I'm just waiting for something to happen.
Oh, I mean, 6 is there. Secret is 5. Both is Sol, so it's there. And this is actually also a first time over. Thank you, Reed, as always, for that message. Really appreciate that. Camille, first time for KacZka. Big time to pull it out as well. As it is a champion, he has played a lot on solo queue. He didn't, I believe, pull it out in Scouting Grounds, at least not on a streamed game, but still important to know. It's really fun to see this kid slowly start playing. Well, just this player, rather. I shouldn't call him a kid. A player. Oh, God, huge damage though.
Yeah, Utapon is very low already, but that's the kill that's going to come through onto Sol. First blood already secured. KacZka is now going to flash away, try and run. Udyr is a very fast boy indeed, and he is out of there. But DFM being able to find a kill and a play that honestly didn't look that good at first.
I think Alistar passive. Whoa, Ebby.
Yep, that is going to be the hook shot out from KacZka, and both top laners just shake hands in the end.
They do indeed, and that was looking so scary for Utapon throughout that first exchange that we saw in the bot lane. I was expecting a death for certain to come out, however, the heal plus the Alistar passive was able to keep him alive, and there was so much damage negated, which they were able to then turn around, and sadly, Sol was the person receiving the bad news that their AD carry, or rather them, the AD carry, will be dying. It looks like DetonatioN FocusMe are planning to try and get this rift held and accelerate their lead that they have been rather equal with at the moment, which is not a normal place for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to trust you on this statistic, but you can see Secret coming up on that Seraphine already in the top side. No level 6, so no access to that on core. KacZka is going to jump forward with the hookshot. Heavy already has got the Meganar, is going to find the wall onto KacZka, and gets out of the ultimatum. That being said, Steel is up, so is Gang. There is the knockup on KacZka. Remember, he doesn't have the flash, and Gang is able to find the kill. Kinado, the hook shot gets interrupted through the barrage, just goes through everyone. We have an absolute fiesta in the top lane. Seros comes in, slaps down the big turret. Double kill is being picked up by Secret before he inevitably falls down. Kinado has got the chrono shift and is going to be reviving Seros. Throw the micro rockets his way. Kinado takes the hookshot, jumps forward, and picks up the kill onto Seros. I don't even know how many people died, but it's 3-3 at the end of the day.
5 kills in total, 3 deaths. No, 5 deaths? No, 3. 3 kills, 4 kills, who knows? It was an absolute fiesta, to quote you from earlier, and it well and truly was. I believe Secret and KacZka perished there, but they ended up getting 3 kills over on the side of DetonatioN FocusMe. It was such a long fight for the longest time here. Secret doesn't even have 6 here, which is a big point, because imagine if he had 6 here going across multiple members, is unable to do it, and then sadly they end up trading over that damage. KacZka is trying to do his absolute best, but he gets fallen, and now the rest of the team get collapsed upon. Thankfully, Seraphine is a fair and not unbalanced champion, and she's able to put out a fair amount of damage. I'm joking here. Doesn't matter. KacZka is, well, no, Kinatu here is able to do a lot of damage here, and then is able to kill Seros, trading it equal and actually getting preferable trade for the Jesters there, though it wasn't clean, and that was not well played by any of the members of both teams there, I'll be honest.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's the supports that have the most skills, so I guess we have some order in the universe. But yeah, this game is already going in a very unpredictable direction. That's the words that I'm going to choose and stick with. The Dragon. Second one is going to be Cloud, coming up in 40 seconds. You can already see KacZka positioning around it, dropping in the control wood behind the pit. And as things go, honestly, Rascal Jester, I feel like, might be just looking to secure it again.
I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't looking to secure it. I mean, also when Rascal Jester are looking at the soul that they're going to be getting, they're like, okay, well, if we can get one extra dragon ahead, we can try and keep pushing this advantage. We're currently a few hundred gold above at least, or they've got to be looking at themselves going, well, we've probably got about an even place at the moment. The dragon's coming up. No one's got a turret here. No one's really got a huge amount of turret plates. Actually, we're the ones with turret plates in this bot side, so maybe we can try and keep pushing this advantage. 3 members are there, and they're going to be getting the dragon first.
Steel is behind the pit. Yeah, no flash, has got the level 8 ultimate. I believe that is a couple of seconds of cooldown left. Seros is also behind the pit. Remember, that lightning grenade can really ruin your day, especially in a closed off area. The turret keeps the aggro. They cannot pull the dragon back. It is still going to be secured by KacZka, but that is an interaction that we're going to have to watch later on.
Yeah, absolutely. We will have to watch for it, as it is going to be KacZka recalling. Almost could have got caught out there, but thankfully was able to get away. And this is going to be a mountain soul. This is going to be probably an important thing to come back to, depending on how this game goes. Though I do think this favors Rascal Jester in the long term.
I mean, yeah, you do have champions like Udyr. Kumiho is also going to quite like that soul, and it gives you survivability. We already mentioned Rascal Jester have got this disgusting team comp where they are looking to out-sustain you, they're looking to out-poke you, so any extra resistances you can get on top of that is just going to amplify that.
I mean, Ocean Soul would probably be knocking on heaven's door for Rascal Jester, for DFM, right? They'd just be going, can we ever kill them? And the answer is just always no. They never die, right? But that's kind of crazy that we're talking like this around a DFM game at the moment, because they normally win everything. They never lose anything. Even if it looks like they might lose, they'll always find a way back in. So we can never count DetonatioN FocusMe out, because Rascal Jester, if they fumble even a tiny bit, Seros and crew normally can find a way. They're going to throw this Rift Herald in this top side and try and funnel some gold onto Ebby from the looks of things.
Oh, 100%. And even the gold, there is no difference. And after this Herald charges it, I believe it will even be in favor of Detonation of FocusMe. So Rascal Jester, they're not really in an advantageous position looking at this objectively. So this game 100% on Knife's Edge. I agree with you. That being said, Soul picks up the Essence Weaver. 14 minutes, of course, a bit later than the previous match, but it's still something to keep your eye on because that Ezreal, he can't get out of control.
So close yet so far for Sol in this bot lane as well. Was trying to get that bot turret in time, but Ebby was able to secure the top turret, get 610 gold for that little yodel.
Right, Unicorn is just dead here, no? He's got the Blast Cone, he's gonna try and take it, but Soul picks up the kill with the auto attack. Teleport was committed in as well, and now we can see Kanadu in the mid lane. Ceros is going to get charmed by the Encore, and Rika picks up the kill. Rascal Jester with 2 kills.
And sadly, there isn't much more on the map for the side of the Jesters to really push down. They don't have a great amount of siege. They have actually rather a great amount of siege. Detonation FocusMe rather don't have any good wave clear currently available to them. So Gang's just going to tank a huge amount of turret damage as Rascal Jester look to take this mid turret.
They should be able to. Udapon still not on the map. That Xayah is not going to be a threat, and Evie is taking so much damage here. Second turret secured by Rascal Jester. They put themselves at 1,500 gold in the lead, and we're gonna take another look at what just happened.
I think it's just a bear slap from out of nowhere, right? Yeah, bear slap in, and then Soul. And then what's really cool is it comes back down and it's just an auto attack. It's just an auto attack from Utapon that comes through midway. This is really nice from Secret. Does flash in to make sure it can land, but the extended range, because it goes over multiple people, means it will hit onto Syros, get that kill. And I was like, well, there's nothing really on the map that Rascal Jester can get. They can try and get this mid turret, but while I was saying that, I didn't actually expect them to get the turret. Of course, I'm an idiot. Of course, they'd get it. Of course, it's Rascal Jester at the moment with a Zillion, who is better at taking turrets, and an Ezreal, who's pretty good at taking turrets. So they've got a turret-taking team without even playing Tristana, which is impressive.
I just love what happened there in the top lane. You see Hachimecha running forward, Sarah's presses are, and Hachimecha's like, you know what, I think I don't want to anymore.
Yeah, it's like, nah, I'll come back, I'll try another time. I'll try another time when you hopefully don't have that up. And then they always have it up, because it's Heimerdinger. Yeah.
Just a very... it is a very niche champion. He goes for the Luden's Echo. Think it makes sense, especially when you are looking at potentially having him in the role of some follow-up engage with the grenade, either the regular one or the upgraded. Having that burst will help you. That being said, Soul in the jungle potentially cut out is going to get slowed by the Strikebreaker and the Boulder. That's going to be flashed into the Gnar, into the wall, but the double charm with the Encore and the double bomb as well. Rascal Jester feeling themselves really well today. Udapon is not going to die. That is the turnaround. At least one kill already found. There is a second one. Udapon picks it up. So Rascal Jester overstepping in the middle, but we are not done with the fighting just yet. Secret onto the side. Steel is going to be the next target. He's so damn low, but is not going to fall. And Seros is now the next on the chopping block. Slowed down and taken out by Weekend.
What a performance there from the side of the Jesters. Yes, they did get traded on, but what are they able to do afterwards? Immediately, they're able to secure this dragon. So actually, it's a favored trade for them. Every single time, it's like, well, maybe that wasn't so bad for Detonation FocusMe. Maybe actually the Jesters actually got caught out and it might have favored them even, especially if they're able to at some point get some of these shutdown gold that is on currently the heads of Rascal Jester. It wasn't meant to be, and they're able to get this dragon. As we come into this replay, it's like, okay, Soul, you're getting caught out. You are going to we're going to try and kill you. We're going to throw a lot onto you. Ebby even flashed, remember, to Gnar ultimate. This huge Seraphine ult saves them for so long, and that's how they're able to turn this fight. And it's like, okay, now this is really good for the Jesters, okay? Went a bit too forward, didn't respect the damage that came out there, and Utapon, knowing the Gale Force proc with everything else, was able to secure that last kill. Sadly, Steel's a bit too far up here, and then what can these players do? They have to disengage. Nothing else is really going to happen here. Soros, as we know, is able to get absolutely destroyed, and then they're able to rotate around and get that dragon. Every time you think it might be slightly favored DFM, nope. The Rascal Jesters find a way, and Recap is currently having an absolute stellar performance. Maybe I need to rub my eyes a bit. Is that Bjergsen? Is Bjergsen here in the LJL?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe he just retired to Japan. Who knows? But
Not a bad place to retire to, I'd say.
absolutely not. But yet, look, this game just broke absolutely any expectation I had coming into this match.
I'm glad.
So I am absolutely dumbfounded at this point. But yeah, mid lane, both of them are just looking to make so many different statements. So far, it's Recap who is, coming out on top, but Seros has his moments, and I think if that fight showed anything, is that if you underestimate the damage that Seros can put up, it's gonna hurt. But it's gonna hurt a lot.
It really will. But as it's currently standing, the favor is currently about 1.5K, 1.5K ahead for the Jesters. They also have 3 dragons and an extra turret advantage. KacZka is going to check and
Paranoid to the bottom. Great dodge here with the Hexag ultimatum. Teleport is going to come in from Recap, and KacZka has got the chrono shift on top of him. Encore finds the charm only onto one person, but it's enough for Recap to pick up the first kill of the fight. Hachimecha is just running around. All the turrets are chopping him down. The fear coming through as well. Flash away, and the heal is going to save him. Rascal Jester finding a pick and not losing a single member.
Be so tilting for the side of Detonation FocusMe. 2 different separate occasions as it looked like Hachimecha or KacZka was going to perish. They were going to die, and that's where Detonation FocusMe to come in. Nope, Secret goes, no. My champions are not dying. I have a Moonstone. I know exactly what I'm doing. Heals, shields for days, and they survive. Ultimately, that was Detonation FocusMe looking for a pick, and Rascal Jesters were able to get a kill out of it. Favor Rascal Jester, and very soon, in about 3 minutes, this dragon's going to be coming up, and the fight of the game is going to be happening. Are your vocal cords ready? Are your vocal cords ready for it? Are you getting warmed up? It's minute 50 now.
I mean, I had the entire game to warm up in the entire previous one, so I do hope they are at least warmed up. If anything, a bit worn out at this point, but who knows? The AI says 79% in the favor of Rascal Jester winning. Well, they are not only playing against the champion of DFM, but also against their reputation, and to be honest, so far they're doing stellarly well.
Absolutely. The only way we could be well and truly in the Rascal Jester's wheelhouse would be if the Shaco was being played. We'd get the Jester for the Jesters, and then we'd be fully all in on the flavor text. But sadly no one plays Shaco because Shaco in competitive play is unviable. But then, as is Heimerdinger in most people's minds. But Hachimecha, ooh, hello.
Yeah, he's going to get caught out. KacZka comes in with the hookshot from the top side, locks him up in the ultimatum. That's the kill picked up by Sol, and immediate calls for the Baron.
Haven't cleared this, so the side of Detonation FocusMe are well aware of this, and remember, Steel is playing Nocturne. He can get in there at any time he needs to.
Saros has got the ultimate, Gang has the flash, so the engage is ready, and Rascal Jesters are all clumping up. Paranoia is going to be coming through. The damage on the Baron has been interrupted. The Baron down to about 2,000. Paranoia has ran out. Gang on the front line is going to pop the ultimate, goes in, finds the to KacZka, but look at the Encore. It is beautiful. KacZka already picks up the first kill of the fight. Saros, he's exhausted, but the turrets, they're doing so much work on the members of Rascal Jester. Sol is able to take out the Heimerdinger. The feathers are pulled right back in, but the chrono shift will save the AD carry. Evie is indeed teleporting, but a bit too late. Rascal Jester, they're low. They will not continue the Baron, but they win the fight. Sol in the mid lane flashes forward, picks up Udapon, and is going to be able to take away this Hachimecha. If he dies here, this could potentially be big. That is the teleport coming through as well. We have KacZka coming in. Evie is able to pick up the kill onto Hachimecha. Can he now get out? No jungler for Rascal Jester. Evie takes the Blasco. He's escaping on the slither. Perhaps Sol dashing in, and can he find the mystic shot? No, he cannot. He has to go away without anything. Well, in that last engagement anyway.
Still going to be able to secure this dragon. That was the most important thing. That's how long this fight started. With 1 minute left on the dragon, that's why Rascal Jesters went for this Baron. They weren't able to secure the Baron, but guess what they were able to secure? A kill onto Eddie and then a kill onto multiple members of Detonation FocusMe. They weren't able to get that Baron. Yeah, that's the consolation prize, but guess what they were able to do? Sol was able to kill Utapon in this in the bot lane, in the mid lane. Well, they were to kill the bot laner of Detonation FocusMe in the mid lane. Whatever. My point is completely destroyed at this point. They got the Baron, they got the Dragon Soul, and now Rascal Jesters are going to be even more difficult to kill on top of the resiliences. And now they're squishies. Specifically Soul and Secret, not Recap, because he can always ult himself when in doubt. Soul and Secret are going to become even more treacherous, even more of an issue, and a huge thorn in DFM's side, because now with shields and heals for days from Seraphine, Detonation FocusMe have a lot to churn through.
They do indeed, and we'll see what they can do right now. They have 2 items on Utapon. Evie going forward on that Gnar is almost mega. Just in time for the fight. Oh my goodness, Soul just chunks him out completely. Gang is going forward right onto Hachimecha, but he's just not really taking any damage, it feels like, and Steel now might be in trouble. Hachimecha flashes forward, Encore does not hit anyone. Here goes Kenatu forward, doesn't find the stun onto a single person. The Rascal Jester earn a tactical victory as now they have the position over the Baron.
Yeah, they're all still full health. They're able to just do it, and that's a huge ultimate coming out from the Ezreal there of Soul. And now they're able to keep doing it. The backs were stopped, and look at the bars on the side of the Jesters.
Oh, look at Sarah! Soul just eliminates him over the wall. The Jaime is down. That's the second kill picked up by Canada and Rascal Jester. With those 2 kills, they should be able to take the Baron, no problem.
And what a performance from this Rascal Jester lineup. People were at least interested in this team. We said there's a chance they can make playoffs, but we need to see some games from them. The previous iteration of the Jesters had a lot of problems, so we were hesitant at first, but this is a statement of a game from the Jesters. They beat the former world competitors of V3 Sports, which still have 2 remaining members on their team, and now they're looking to go for the kings of the LJL that everybody knows. If you watch Worlds, Detonation FocusMe are the representatives from Japan, but the Jesters are looking to make a mark and say, absolutely not. This was amazing by Soul. That was ultimate, and then is it the Gale? No, that's just another Q. Yeah. Oh my god.
Able to weave it in over Gang basically, and man, this is just absolutely glorious to watch. You said you wanted to see some games from Rascal Jester. Well, that is definitely some game.
This is a phenomenal game. I am honestly gobsmacked that I was able to cast over this, and this is like, look at this, Moonstone, Staff of Flowing Water out for Secret there, multiple items now coming in, Leandre's for Recap, and that's actually something I want to mention quickly. I actually think that that's something that Siros should be doing. He is the Heimerdinger master. I'm not going to disagree. But Leandre's Anguish feels like it'd be a far more common item onto Heimerdinger, and it's normally what people pick in solo queue. So I'm interested why he's gone for this burst potential outside of this Heimerdinger. As sadly, while this is happening, and I'm going on this little narration, oh, that's rude.
Yeah, style points for Soul. Hachimecha, he's very fast. He's going to be running away not so fast as all of Rascal Jesters in the top side. Kinado is left to his own devices in the bot lane. He should be able to... Okay, no, he has to disengage. Paranoia right back down. Gang is there as the Alistar finds the crowd control. Kinado not feeling great, and Utapon is able to pick him up.
You didn't feel so good, Mr. Stark, anymore, but hey, multiple things are still happening over on the side of Rascal Jester. They're able to still secure another turret, and this Baron still has 50 seconds left to go. They've got an open inhibitor in this bot side. They don't need to keep pushing. They don't need to risk anything else. They've already lost their top laner, so the split push potential that this side had is now no longer there, and they'll have to look for another objective. Oh, wait, what's up in a minute 30? Oh, that might be an Elder Drake. And, oh, whoa. Total damage dealt into Champion's entire game. Soul. That's just rude.
That is more than Utapon and Seros combined.
Oh my god, you're right.
And I think you can also throw in Steel on top of that. Yeah, that's more than those 3 combined. He is popping off.
And what a game to pop off. What an opponent to pop off against. And this is on, remember, this is Gang and Cirrus's first game of the spring split. And it doesn't feel great to have this kind of performance when you're like, okay, first time back, guys. Last time we were here, we're in the finals. And I'll play my first game back. And this is what happens. Oh, that feels rough.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what Detonation FocusMe decide to do. I mean, it is the super week at the end of the day, so even if it ends up falling through for Rascal Jester right now, definitely not the end of the line. I mean, Detonation FocusMe still will be 8-2 in the worst case scenario, but it is increasingly looking like a certainty rather than the possibility that Rascal Jesters will be finding this win here. Let's see what Detonation goes. We can find the Anchor, the charm onto 3 people. Keep your eyes on Sol. He is going to get dove by Steel, immediately stunned up and taken out. Kinetic goes golden in the backside. Sol jumping forward. He's going to get knocked down with the pulverize, flashes over the wall, and is just throwing in missed shot. Oh, he just gets deleted by Unipon. That was not the place where you have to find yourself. Triple kill nonetheless. 3 for 2 in favor of Rascal Jester, but now they are the ones that are on the retreat. Unipon looking to cut them off. Hatchamecha going forward. He's so damn fast with this. Zillion Unipon will burn the flash to dodge the bomb. 3 for 2, Rascal Jester. They are looking towards this dragon. Inhibitor is going to be taken down, but this is very risky territory now.
Absolutely. Hugely risky. Kinatu is up in 17 seconds, 15 seconds. Has got that teleportation up. Eddie is going to be up around the exact same amount of time, and they also have teleport up. Remember, they're looking for
going forward as the stun onto Unipon and burst out. Secret picks the kill. Saros now is next in line. Recap takes him out with the double bomb, and the dragon is going to be continued. Steel is up. So is Evie and the gang. However, Kanada already teleports in and is going to zone any intruders away.
And they're looking for it. But still trying to find it, but this Elder Dragon is going down far faster than any of the members of Detonation FocusMe would like to know.
The Hextech ultimatum was denied by the spell shield. Steel is going straight into the pit. The dragon is resetting, now up to 3,000. Steel is dead. Kanada takes him out, and now with no jungler, this should be the objective secured by Rascal Jester. 30 minutes and 21 kills to 9, and a 9,000 gold lead with Mountain Soul as well. Rascal Jester are looking to take down the DFM.
I just really want to compliment the communication from the side of Rascal Jester there. A very small thing that happened there, but the moment the paranoia was popped by Steel, every single member of the Rascal Jesters stopped engaging onto that Elder Dragon, and they walked off of this. Now, I imagine there's going to be a huge team fight, so I'm going to be quiet now.
Yeah, the FM will not go quietly into the night. You can take that for sure. However, Saros is already burst down. Kinadu will find the kill. Hatchamecha under the turret. He's again quite a lot of damage here. He is an Udyr. Can he heal back up? No, Unipon will just take him down. And now Kinadu goes right back in. He's got a chrono shift on top of himself, but no one is going to proc it. Heavy is almost mega. Kinadu is just going to fall down. The first Nexus starter is going to fall. Second one, not quite yet. Detonation FocusMe still very much alive, still kicking and screaming all the way to the end. Steel is now going to get stunned up by the bombs. There is the knockup on the Soul. The Gnar is not going to get it, and the Elder Executor coming in one after another. You can see the laser smiting down the remaining members of Detonation FocusMe, and Rascal Jester did it. They take the win against DFM.
What an incredible performance from the members there. This is honestly game changing, and it's going to make so many different perspectives now when we talk on our podcast this week. There's going to be so much, and this is only one day, KacZka. I've got another day of this. My head's going to be falling out by the end.
I mean, good luck. I don't know. I mean, this was absolutely insane. As you said, there is another whole day in this super week, and this just makes the situation towards the top of the standings so damn interesting. Because Rascal Jester, I think you mentioned somewhere in the game, did they take down V3 already in one game?
They have indeed.
Now they have a win against DFM. They've got a serious claim to fame.
They really do, but so we can get my head back on top of my neck and body, let's go over to a very short break so we can regain our thoughts with Initialize after this break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And he struck again. This murderer that Piltover has sent out warnings about. Ezreal is on the loose. He's throwing people into the museum, and apparently the old guard of DFM have been shoved straight in the museum they belong in this time out. Rascal Jesters bring down the #1 team in the LJL spring thus far. They do it against the OG guard who come in for the first game. And what a game it was, KacZka. What was going on?
I'd love to know, honestly. I mean, I was casting that game, but I mean, the gist of it, I think that I got is, honestly, Rascal Jesters just won a few inches, and somehow Soul just collected all of them, and then he just ended up doing similar crimes to the previous game.
Fantastic. Well, in that case, let's take a quick step and talk about those inches you were talking about, because that early game was really, really close. There was some weird stuff from DFM in draft. Heimerdinger, of course, is a Seros special, but they went for the Nocturne. It's a bit of an odd draft. But all the same, we had a flipping Zillion on the other side from Recaps. It was a bit of a weird pair of teams to be looking at to begin with. And the skirmishes early on were really damn close, Mass One. But it felt, I think, to all of us that Rascal Jesters came out with the edges in them.
Yeah, because part of it was just the fact that Rascal Jesters wanted to scale. They wanted this game to go on. They had an Ezreal with a Seraphine. They don't care what you ask for them early on, and they just want to go, we just don't want to fight you. But they always had prio, because what can an Alistair Xayah lane do to you? It was very oppressive, and the side of Rascal Jesters just kept pressuring more and more Detonation FocusMe at any point that they allowed them to. I was honestly really impressed with all the members of Rascal Jester here in this game.
I think that's really fair. And, there's so many we could talk about. First blood went to DFM, but then there was that fiesta in the top lane where people start dying around. Utapon getting caught out by Hachimecha by the red buff. Then there was the skirmish where everybody's trying to catch Soul by the Drake.
Oh,
And
God,
anyway,
that was so good.
It's back and forth. Jester's getting slight advantages, and they find themselves at Soul Point. And the point that this game kind of really broke open, KacZka. Ebby getting caught at the Baron about 21 minutes in, and this hectic series of plays led to Soul for the Jesters, led to Baron for the Jesters. What happened?
I mean, as you said, it was a hectic series of plays. People were just getting caught left, right, and center. You had kills going over to DFM, some kills going over to Rascal Jester. But at the end of the day, it was Rascal Jester who ended up with more people on the map, who ended up being in a position where they can stay on and fight. And they were already on the Soul Point, so the choice really was obvious. Since you can fight and your opponent cannot, you just go for the Soul. Even if you have only 3 people alive, you just can't do that, and they did. And it ended up working in their favor.
They got the Soul, they get a couple more kills, they get the Baron, and it kind of went lights out from there. And I think there's one final thing we do have to talk about, which is that Ezreal, who has been on an absolutely monstrous tear for Sol. He did by far the most damage in that game. He did 40k damage in about 39 minutes. I'm talking over 1,000 DPM for this guy. He's had 2 incredible games of Ezreal. This time he didn't even build a mythic item. It just didn't seem to matter. He could do no wrong, Mass Swan.
Back-to-back games on this Ezreal, back-to-back games getting 9 kills. Sadly, he did die 3 times, but he made up for it by getting double the assists this time round. That is a total of 18, 3, and 18 KDA across 2 games, playing back-to-back Ezreal games, and what a performance. He didn't need that mythic item, as you laid out for us, because the Dustplane, it's just more lethality, but what happens if none of the opponents on the enemy side actually have any armor except for the top laner and the support, which you just don't care about because you can 3-shot the Heimerdinger, which is what we saw doing, that Baron moment where he just jumps over the wall and just deletes them. I was like, oh, he must have a Gale Force. No, doesn't have a Gale Force, doesn't need a Gale Force. He's an Ezreal. Why would he need an extra dash? He can just auto EQ death.
Incredible stuff. But that does mean that maybe it wasn't against the fully practiced DFM squad. Maybe that's the excuse. But looking at that game, can't say it. It was an amazing game, a back and forth game. DFM did not make it easy. But the Jesters, on the back of a ridiculously potent Ezreal performance, did come out victorious and moved to 7-3, tying themselves with V3 Esports. They're just the one win behind DFM. They're tied with V3. And that sets us up incredibly well for a bit of a matchup we have tomorrow, Lexi.
Oh, yes. This is the matchup that I am so excited to talk about. But obviously, we will have to talk about that tomorrow.
Indeed.
It will be our blast from the past game. And, sir, I believe on the schedule, you and myself are casting this game.
I am so excited. We have Jesters versus V3 to take all the marbles there. It could be that fight for second. Either way, we are now going to have to leave you all until tomorrow. KacZka, I want to offer our thanks for coming on the broadcast, being a play-by-play here. You got a couple of crazy games. Thanks again to Reed for doing all the production work and turning us all into VCasters there. But from myself, from Lexi, from the whole LJLOU core, we wish you good day, good morning, good night, wherever you are. We'll see you all tomorrow. Hope you get enough sleep, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to wind down after that lot. See you then.